once daily with Vesicare. New Vesicare can reduce urges and may even help relieve bladder leakage. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. So why wait? Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you. Fewer urges and leaks. With new Vesicare, it's not just a pipe dream.
More reporters on Capitol Hill than any other network. More exclusive interviews, more investigative reports. Team Washington gets the whole story, fair and balanced. Fox News Channel, still the one, the only one for political coverage. Sunday, blocking Bolton. As new allegations surface, what's the president's plan to push through his nominee? Brian Wilson has all the latest on Weekend Live. Fox News Channel, still the one network where Americans turn for their news.
This week on Fox News Watch, the new pope is conservative. Did you know that? And a new TV series based on a Bible book is a big hit. Did you know that? Is there a new scandal in the TV news business? Is this any way to sell a news magazine? And Larry King for the defense in the Michael Jackson trial? First the headlines, and then us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carol Iavana. Just hours from now, Pope Benedict XVI will be formally installed at a Mass in St. Peter's Square. 500,000 pilgrims are expected to be on hand, along with dignitaries like German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder and Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Security for the event is tight. Anti-missile systems are in place around the Vatican, and warplanes will be on patrol. American forces taking several blows from terrorists in Iraq. The military says an American soldier died when his convoy was hit by a roadside bomb near Baghdad. A car bomb also exploded near a different U.S. patrol in the Iraqi capital. One Iraqi was killed. Several other people were hurt, including 3 American soldiers. Silvio Berlusconi has been sworn in as Italy's prime minister again. He resigned earlier this week in a power struggle with allies inside his government. Today, Berlusconi formed a new ministry, but opposition parties say it's the same as the old one. They say the new government won't be able to confront problems which have hurt Berlusconi's popularity. Federal and local agents in Houston rescued nearly 20 illegal immigrants in what is being called a botched kidnapping attempt. Authorities say a group suspected of human smuggling was holding the immigrants captive at a strip mall. Law enforcement was tipped off after one of the immigrants called his family, saying he was being held against his will. The family called the cops. A cool kickoff for the Kentucky Derby Festival. More than 300,000 people showed up to watch the Thunder Over Louisville fireworks display. The crowds endured some pretty chilly weather to see the show. The display opens the 2-week-long Derby Festival leading up to the May 7th race. And those are your latest headlines. Fox News Watch with Eric Burns is up next. That's right here on the Fox News Channel. For more on all the latest headlines, log on to foxnews.com. Stay with us.
I repeat, is this any way to sell a news magazine? I'd be more likely to buy it if the cover looked like this. But then I am partial to Jane Hall. That's Jane Hall of the American University, whose other admirers include syndicated columnist Cal Thomas, Jim Pinkerton of Newsday, and filling in for Neil Gabler this week, Ellis Hennigan of Newsday. We have Newsday product placement today. I'm Eric Burns. Fox News Watch is coming right up. The Time magazine cover later, but first, have you seen enough pictures of chimneys to last you for a while? Actually, this one is the only one that mattered, the white smoke signifying that Joseph Ratzinger of Germany is now Pope Benedict XVI. Do we have a Catholic on the panel?
Right here.
You.
Absolutely.
This week we do.
I will hear your confession later.
I have nothing to confess.
That's a Catholic joke, incidentally.
May I go on now? I didn't see a story, Ellis, about the choice of the new pope that did not mention the word conservative. My question to you, is that fair journalism?
You know, I don't think conservative is an insult, so yeah, I think it's part of this guy's background. He has this huge new job, and I think people have an absolute right to want to know where he's coming from.
Which is especially striking in the way the media look at the Catholic Church. I mean, which is the presumption that obviously these guys are a bunch of medieval retrogrades who will eventually see the light. That's the media view. And so,
which is to say that's why...
So they all said it. They're conservatives. Ratzinger's a conservative, but as Brian Williams said on the day that Benedict XVI was picked, he said, the Catholic Church is not yet, note the word yet, ready for big change. And then Jim Maceda in the same report said, the Catholic Church is unyielding, but there's a chance that, quote, new ideas could emerge, unquote. So that they have to stay conservative, but of course someday they'll see the light and become liberal.
There's another presumption as well that comes through in all of the media coverage that I've seen, in addition to the labeling conservative, God's Rottweiler, enforcer, sounds like a mafia hitman of some kind. There's a presumption in much of the media that somehow the Catholic Church, indeed God, ought to rubber stamp whatever people want to do. Same-sex marriage, abortion, how conservative and out of the mainstream the church is, instead of being a light and being a barricade against cultural death.
But Cal, what you mentioned is actually verified by polls. For instance, the Associated Press this month, should priests be allowed to marry Catholics? 60 to 36% say yes. Another poll, Gallup, CNN USA Today, should Catholics be encouraged by the Pope to practice birth control? 78 to 21% yes.
Well, as somebody mentioned, Eric, in another context, the Ten Commandments, not voluntary initiatives.
I understand that, Jane, but if these polls show... Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have run over that. If these polls show that there are certain attitudes among Catholics that the new Pope doesn't seem to reflect, isn't it only fair for journalists to reflect this disconnection?
I think it is only fair, and I would counterweight what Jim saw on NBC. Bill Blakemore on ABC said these are his positions, and a lot of people think that this is strong Catholic ideology. I agree that there was a storyline, and it was interesting to me. I mean, many American Catholics are polling differently from what he stands for. And I thought there wasn't as much as some other people here seem to be saying of a discussion of how his views compare, what his role was. I mean, they didn't make up the phrase about his being a Rottweiler. That's the role that many people thought that he played heretofore.
They did make up the phrase, he's a Rottweiler. He didn't call himself a Rottweiler.
No, but people in the church called him that.
But look, liberal secular reporters talking about the Catholic Church reminds me of W.C. Fields reading the Bible. He says, I'm looking for loopholes. They're looking for ways out. The emerging storyline to come, however, you're going to see it, is they're going to go through and interview every German who was alive with Ratzinger, and they're saying, now, was he a Nazi? Was he a Nazi? Did he join the Hitler Youth voluntarily? They won't get across the fact that the Nazis were pagans who were extremely anti-Catholic.
There is an important journalistic principle here, though, and this is a guy who is in charge of a very important institution, and we ought to treat it the same way we cover other important institutions. Report the news.
Secular institutions.
Secular institutions.
In other words,
and in fact, other religious institutions, I would say the same thing about. Let's have controversy. Let's express opinions. Let's debate it. What's wrong with any of that?
You know, I was talking with Tom Bird, our executive here, about the coverage, and we were talking about the pool coverage that the Vatican provided and how good it was. I mean, it was incredibly colorful. I think the networks, I mean, I saw students at American University, everybody was watching this live because it was beautifully produced television. The Vatican gets PR points for the way they produce this.
The media continue to talk about what American Catholics think and the polling, but the real growth in the Catholic Church is in Africa and in portions of Latin America, and there are hardly any polls taken there about what they think. Church growth and commitment to Catholic doctrine is greatest in these areas, and the scandals right now in the Catholic Church are coming in the United States.
Jim, let me go back to what you said before about journalists hammering away at the new Pope's background, particularly as regards Nazism. Isn't that fair? I mean, we seem already to know why he was a member of the Hitler Youth, but still, it's a jarring thing to hear, and I think Ellis is right.
It's perfectly fair to investigate. I'm saying it was the emerging storyline will be that they're going to interview every German alive back then. And the Pulitzer Prize beckons for whatever reporter can, truly or not truly. And I happen to think that Pope John Paul II, being the best friend of Ratzinger, demonstrates pretty decisively that Ratzinger was not a Nazi, because a Pole who suffered so much under the Nazis wouldn't like Ratzinger if he'd been a Nazi.
We have to. I'm sorry, Jane. You got a quick word?
A quick thing is the British press is doing that. I think the American press has said this was compulsory, and they've given him a pass.
It also, by the way, is the British press emphasizing the Rottweiler, not the American
And the
press.
paparazzi.
Headlines and paparazzi. Yeah.
But don't
Wait. Just wait. Boy, when we break in new people, we have to take a break. We'll be back to tell you about something that some journalists are doing that might cost you money.
A technology reporter recommending products for you to buy on a TV news show. But has someone bought him? Stay tuned for more Fox News Watch.
The Honda Odyssey has long been called the best vehicle in its class. All the more reason to go back to the drawing board and make it more powerful with an advanced 255 horsepower V6 engine. More spacious, with room for 8, and more intelligent than ever before. Introducing the all-new Honda Odyssey. A great idea, made better.
Be smart.
Be independent.
Be powerful.
Be frugal.
Be strong.
Be opportunistic.
Be unafraid. Be patient. Be unemotional.
Be ruthless.
Be shrewd.
Be
confident.
Be first.
Be ready.
Focused. Be sure.
In other words, be extraordinary. With a totally customizable platform and new low pricing for stock and options trading, Power E-Trade Pro is dramatically upgraded. At E-Trade Financial, we keep challenging the ordinary to help investors be extraordinary.
What are you doing?
Shopping and comparing before I buy.
Shop and compare before you buy. Genius.
Introducing the new Priceline. Now you can shop and compare before you buy. Choose great deals on airfare, hotels, rental cars, cruises, and packages.
Hey!
The new all-in-one Priceline. Shop, compare, save.
Only Nextel brings all these productivity-boosting features into one complete package. Now get the i205 for 99 cents. Nextel phones have built-in walkie-talkie for instant connections, GPS capability for voice-guided directions, and web access for info on the go. Call 8888 Nextel, get the i205 for 99 cents, and ask how you can get 1,000 anytime cellular minutes. Call 8888 Nextel now.
This is Corey Greenberg, the Today Show's expert on high-tech products. A lot of times he appears on local newscasts to pitch products, claiming to be objective, but he has received a lot of money from the companies whose products he pitches. Kathleen DeMonche does the same thing on local news shows and Good Morning America, and has also been on this network's Fox and Friends, although not paid by Fox and Friends. And Child Magazine's James Oppenheim did the same thing on local news shows, and then he got fired for it. Okay, I guess I ought to start with you this segment. Ellis, paraphrasing, what all these people seem to say in their defense is, well, we would only take money from a company whose product we believed in anyhow. How does that strike you?
Gosh, I hope you don't believe that. I mean, there are not that many rules in our business, as you know, Eric, but one of them is that you don't take money from the people that you were covering, whether it be in print or on television. This is a cardinal sin. It's been clearly violated here. Those people ought to be drummed out of our business.
We've discussed this before on the show. We've seen this happening ever since the bridge, the wall between the church of the newsroom and the state of the advertising department crumbled some years ago. This was inevitable. I saw in the New York Times on Friday, it's moved beyond television and this kind of product endorsement. Sweet Charity, which is being revived on Broadway. There's a line in the show about having a drink of scotch. It's been changed to tequila to sell the brand of tequila that the people want to sell. And more than that, on the stage now there are steps with the logo of the tequila manufacturer. So it's all advertising all the time.
And behind all this, Jane, is the fact that remotes and TiVos have made television a less productive medium for advertisers who are looking for any other means to get their message across.
Yes, I'm waiting for the day where asked to do endorsements here on our couture. But I think that Ellis is right, and I also think, from what I gather from what NBC has said so far, I think Corey Greenberg is too good to fire, to paraphrase an old too good to check thing. I mean, he's very good, and I don't see so far that they're taking an action against him.
But Jim, here's the problem. When we criticize people, and we often criticize politicians in this business, it's not just for impropriety, it's for the appearance of impropriety, which is very important. Why don't these people realize that whether they're being true to their own beliefs or not, the image is wrong, and you can't do it for that reason?
Well, I'm not even sure he's sorry from what we're saying. And I mean, look, he says he told NBC about this, and obviously never told the viewers, so he kept faith with NBC but broke faith with the viewers. However, I'm not sure if he disclosed and simply said, here's what I'm getting paid by Sony or iPod or whoever to do this, but here's how it works and here's why it's good. I think a lot of people are grateful. Half the stuff you buy you can't figure out how to use when you get it home, so if somebody would explain it to you, it would be valuable to you. By the way, hats off to the Wall Street Journal for breaking the story.
Yeah. And when these kinds of things happen, to me, Cal, it's a two-step problem. First step is the behavior itself. Second is the way the TV executives rationalize it. David McCormick, NBC, good friend of mine for 30 years. He is now the executive producer for Broadcast Standards. Do you know what he said about Corey Greenberg doing this? He said, some products that people like Greenberg, talk about might be quite topical, and to avoid them would be peculiar. But to let somebody who's not on the take discuss them would be even more ethical. Well, what a defense.
I wish to say Eric, ex-friend.
Look, the slug at the bottom of the screen says TV payola. For those not old enough to remember, not know the history of broadcasting, payola refers to record pluggers paying disc jockeys back in the 50s to promote songs. This produced a federal investigation. There were congressional hearings on this. I doubt if this is going to.
But, disclosure is an important tool here, because if we have to step forward and say, let me tell you what I'm doing to the viewers, we're going to be embarrassed by that, and it's going to make us do things that are a whole lot smarter.
Well, not if what we're doing is smart to begin with. Yeah, but I don't think disclosure works. Oh, you have a solution?
Well, yeah, you remember those old, now I'm plugging Isuzu Troopers here. I hope I'll be
You being paid?
Remember those commercials where they said liar underneath? I mean, we're going to start to have
Joe
to do that.
Isuzu, yeah.
Joe Isuzu, liar.
Well, no, you don't have to say liars. There's Joe Isuzu paid handsomely. Paid handsomely for his objectivity.
Right.
Full disclosure, I think we all agree on that. I agree with Cal. Product placement is the wave of the future, but I'll also add that Sony has received a patent for beaming information directly into your head. They're doing it for video games. I saw it
through video games?
Yeah, well, they're going to do it for video games, but if you can do it for video games, you can do it for everything else.
This could be an answer to the failed public school system.
Depends who's beaming the information.
It's good that Jim was not paid to say that, though, right? You weren't.
I wasn't.
Were you?
I don't think so.
He's going to be a content provider in my brain shortly.
Jim, well, he already is in all of ours, more than he should be. Jim, do you really think that disclosure, that people would go ahead and buy these products if there were disclosure? It seems to me that at least some viewers, if there is, the disclosure doesn't work, because if you disclose, you discredit yourself. Isn't the solution, don't hire these experts from outside your company and put them on the payroll. Use one of your own network news correspondents who you assume is objective.
That's pretty good. However, it just might not be what happens, and people might not care. Look, there's plenty of sort of quasi-advertising, quasi-news outlets like CNET and ZDNet and so on online. They're plugging products all the time. I love this product. I love iPod. I love Apple's Compact, whatever. Yeah. It's hard to tell anymore, and frankly, if it's just information, you're somewhat grateful to have it.
Well, they used to have Consumer Reports people come on and objectively review some of these products, but obviously the advertising people said, hey, we can make more money if we just come on and plug them.
It's time for another break. We'll be back with our quick takes.
Ann Coulter, cover girl and not happy about it. Larry King, witness for the defense in the Michael Jackson case and not saying how he feels. Fox News Watch continues after this.
It's Fox.
It's news.
It's live.
Medical technology is big business, so Janus is scrubbing up to see a new device in action and to examine the company that makes it. Would it make a healthy investment? Numbers aren't enough. Neither are company claims. Janus does exploratory surgery on the story behind the stock, even talks to patients. The prognosis looks good for them and Janus investors. Carefully read and consider objectives, fees, charges, and risks before you invest. Call Janus for a prospectus with this information and more.
a search engine that delivers unbiased health information so people can make informed decisions. A physician finder that enables them to locate the right doctor for the problem. Just some of the features that make WebMD America's most trusted and most visited health site. A site that's recommended by more physicians and relied on by more than 20 million Americans every month. WebMD, America's health site.
Rexius, sustainable solutions for the community, the environment, and the little critters in your yard.
The NBA playoffs on TNT.
Stojakovic for the top.
40 games in 40 nights.
Chauncey Billups, here it is. He's got it.
Win or go home.
Kevin Garnett is taking over this game.
The truth will be told.
Coverage begins April 24th on TNT. Available in high definition.
See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered.
Come to the ballpark and let's have some fun with the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes. Season tickets, group tickets, and ticket packages for the 2005 season are on sale. Get yours now. More than 70,000 tickets have already been sold. Buy 4 reserve tickets for opening night and receive the Volcano's top-selling fitted hat, a $22 value, free. Just ask for the Top Hat Special. Call the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes, 503-390-2225. Come to the ballpark. Let's have some fun.
Truck buyers, the best place for you to be is Beaverton Honda Pre-Owned Truck Center, and let me tell you why. We've got Ford, Chevys, Dodges, Nissans, we've got diesels, we've got Hemis, we've got quad cabs. They all come with Beaverton Honda's famous 7-day right of exchange, our 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty, and while you're here, you need to come see Honda's all-new truck, the all-wheel drive quad cab Ridgeline. It's Honda's first entry into the truck market, and Honda's got a winner again. Come see us at Beaverton Honda Pre-Owned.
Rexius, sustainable solutions for the community, the environment, and the little critters in your yard.
It's time now for our quick takes on the media. Headline number 1. My own mother would not even recognize me. So says Ann Coulter about the picture of her on the cover of this week's Time magazine. She goes on to charge the magazine with bias against conservatives for a photograph that she says distorts her face and elongates her legs. Well, we put your picture up there on that body a little while ago. Do you agree? Does it distort? And, more important, because of conservative bias?
Well, I think they were trying to be provocative. I mean, she is known as a beautiful woman with very long legs, and I think they were trying to do a fisheye lens. It is an unflattering picture. I think inside it's a puff piece, and Fair.org, the Fairness and Accuracy Reporting Group, put out a very good thing that talked about. I mean, the guy starts out the article saying, "I was deep into a bottle of wine with Ann Coulter." I mean, it starts out that way, gives her a pass on a lot of very hateful remarks she's made.
I polled around female colleagues and asked them, do you like this picture, don't like this picture? It was about half and half. So I don't think by any stretch it was a vicious attack on her at all, the photograph. But I will say this, it was obviously 2 sets of opportunities here. Time magazine figured they could sell some magazines with this issue. And Ann Coulter, she posted that picture. I mean, she was there.
Well, she might not have known what lens they were.
I suspect she knew somehow they were lower than she was, in the photographer. I mean, it's clear that she wasn't a total ambush photograph. Well, now she trashes it to make more news, is what I'm saying.
And it's working. The magazine seems to be selling well, Cal.
Yeah, well, sure. Well, conservatives aren't used to success, it appears. I mean, who wouldn't want to have their picture on the cover of Time magazine?
So, Ellis, briefly, she has no right to complain about bias?
Listen, I think the complaint is just all part of the shtick. I don't think she believes that any more than she believes we should invade France.
Quick take, headline number 2. It's not American Idol, but NBC's miniseries based on the biblical book of Revelations is a hit in the ratings. In fact, the premiere episode did better against American Idol than any other NBC show in 3 years, which tells us what, Jim, about religion in prime time?
It tells you that a bunch of atheists in Hollywood could still have their prayers answered.
Good line. Well, first of all, it's the book of Revelation and not a plural. I'll tell you one thing. The German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer spoke of cheap grace, and this is practically free grace. It takes a little clip from the book of Revelation, and it turns it into a whole storyline. I think I'll go to the original cast for my biblical truth.
Finally, we've found someone more popular than Clay Aiken. It's God.
Well, no, actually, American Idol's ratings are a little bit better.
Moving in on American
Closing in, yeah.
May I just interject what a rabbi in USA Today said, and an Episcopalian minister who's a friend of mine said, which is The Simpsons is the best portrayal of integrating religion and the way people go to church and the lessons that the family wants to learn there. That it's a lot better than this dark vision.
All right, quick take headline number 3. Couldn't you just pull my fingernails out instead? Now, Larry King did not say that after he found out that he had been called as a defense witness in the Michael Jackson case. But he must have thought it, Cal, don't you think? I mean, you're a journalist, or you're called a journalist, and you're supposed to do this as your civic duty?
Well, I don't think I've ever heard Larry referred to as a journalist, but apparently the subpoena is the result of a conversation he had with Michael Jackson's lawyer, and the lawyer allegedly told Larry over breakfast or some kind of a meal of something that he had heard. Well,
yeah, important point. This is not Larry King directly wanting to say, I know Michael Jackson,
right.
He's a great guy.
I don't know what, I mean, it's hearsay evidence, and as we all know from watching court drama on television, hearsay cannot be presented in a court, so I don't know how he's going to be able to give the kind of testimony that's acceptable.
But it's kind of an embarrassing thing, Ellis, you must admit, and Larry King is saying, well, if they call me, I'll come, that's my duty. Is that the wise and proper response?
Well, most of us don't really like to be witnesses in criminal cases. I don't think there's anything, though, that would stand between Larry and those cameras.
Even in this case?
Maybe
well, there are no cameras in the courtroom.
No, but on the way in and the way out, I promise you there'll be some cameras.
This is going to require Larry King to remember something that happened a while back and to know the names of the people involved. I think this will be very, and to have an opinion. And this will be very stressful for him.
Great. Well, this will give some letter writers a little topic for next week. Jim, thanks. Jane, what do you think?
Let me just say that if all the journalists who were doing shows about Michael Jackson were under a gag order, there wouldn't be a lot on television lately, including a lot of Larry King and a lot of other places. So I think that's an interesting point.
That's all right. I'd loved you on the cover of Time magazine.
Thank you.
We have to take one more break. When we come back, it'll be your turn.
Phenomenon from Lexus.
Is your cat searching for something new? Searching for more flavors? Searching for her favorites? Finally, what cats are searching for? New feline favorites from Friskies. The only dry cat food with real carnation milk. 4 favorite flavors: chicken, seafood, liver, plus real milk. Ideal for every meal, every day. Delicious and nutritious. Try feline favorites with real milk, the newest dry food from Friskies. For more.
What I'm holding in my hand is just a piece of paper, but it could help save me thousands of dollars. Do you know what it is? It's my credit report and score, and I just printed it off my computer from freecreditreport.com. Do you know what's in your credit report? Do you know your credit score? You should, because when you apply for credit, they can help save you a lot of money. That's why it's so important to make sure your credit report is accurate at freecreditreport.com. Join the more than 8 million people who have already logged on to freecreditreport.com.
I go online, and in seconds, I get my credit report and credit score free.
Staying on top of my credit helped me get the best deal on my refi. Now there's an easy way to monitor key changes on all 3 of my credit reports.
Wouldn't you like to know the information in your credit report is accurate before you apply for credit? Now you can. Log on to freecreditreport.com. Take charge of your credit and take charge of your future. Log on now.
We expose Iran's nuclear threat. Our shocking investigative report uncovers how close they really are, what their deadly ties to terrorism mean for us, and how America could be on the brink of a nuclear disaster.
The world has to act decisively.
Sunday, Chris Wallace hosts a Breaking Point special, Iran, the Nuclear Threat.
About coverage of the ethics charges against Tom DeLay, here is Gail from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and she wants to make a larger point. Congressional ethics will always be an oxymoron while our media ignore the transgressions of their favorites. About citizen reporters for the Greensboro, North Carolina News and Record and other organizations, here's Debbie. I am a resident of Greensboro, and I have not read the News and Record for years because it is a horrible newspaper. Maybe if the citizens are writing articles for the newspaper, I will actually read it now. Maybe our citizens will actually get the facts right. And Richard from Uvalde, Texas. Mr. Burns, you said that anyone who might be interested in being a citizen reporter might have an axe to grind. But is not this a problem with many mainstream journalists as well? About Mitch Albom's writing a newspaper column with some fiction in it, here is Susan from Houston, Texas. Integrity is the only thing a journalist has to sell, and when Mitch A. relinquished his, with the article on the Final Four game, he now has nothing to sell. Journalists obviously have very low standards. No wonder we don't trust them. But from Dave in Lathrop Village, Michigan, Albom issued a full apology in the same space he made the mistake. I made a mistake once too. Please forgive both him and me. At the end of the program, I ask those of you who email us to tell us exactly where you live. Ted, in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I didn't mean that exactly. Finally, here is Michelle from Beverly Hills, California. Is there something going on with Jim Pinkerton's hair? Is it different colors, styles every week? I am more excited to hear what he has to say. I just keep getting distracted by his hair. Isn't that funny, Michelle? Jim?
It's television. There's both an audio and a visual component.
I'm always excited to see his hair. I just get distracted when he talks. See? Here's our address. It is newswatch@foxnews.com. Please tell us your full name.